Hello dear friends, in this video we are going to talk about different types of learners. The objective of this tutorial is by the end of the tutorial viewers will be able to identify the types of learners and you will be able to identify the characteristics of these learners as well, and we are going to discuss about different activities which are shared in another video along with the lesson plan, and you will be able to tell about different learning styles. I have already shared the video about this, but still after learning about different types of learners you will be able to identify and differentiate between different learning styles and identify different types of intelligence as well. Okay, talking about types of learners, so we have four types of learners: the visual learner, auditory learners, who are also called as oral learners, kinesthetic learners, and read and write learners. Now, how can you identify a visual learner? Actually, who is a visual learner? These people, they learn most effectively through the visual channel. They find it easier to receive information if it is in the form of diagrams, pictures, charts, or demonstrations, and they process information by converting it into a visual form. For example, by turning a description of a process into a flowchart or a narrative poem into a cartoon. Some visual learners, they also prefer to access information through the written word. So, how can you identify a visual learner? They love to draw or doodle. These are certain characteristics, some of the characteristics of a visual learner. They love to draw or doodle. They close their eyes to visualize something, and they learn more by watching pictures, videos, etc., as I have already mentioned. They notice minute patterns and details. And the fifth point is they remember faces better than their names, and they prefer to make flowchart and diagrams, etc., while they are learning something. So these are the few characteristics of a visual learner. Then we are going to talk about auditory learners. Who are auditory learners? Auditory learners are the people who learn most effectively through listening, and their preferred learning activities, it includes teacher explanations, discussions, and lectures, and they prefer to process information by converting it into an oral form. For example, by thinking aloud, contributing to exploratory group discussion, or giving an oral a presentation. Okay, now how can you identify the auditory learners? The main characteristics are mentioned over here. They talk aloud to themselves and they like explaining things to others. They remember the names very well, and they can recognize variations in person's tones of voice, whether it's a high pitched tone or a low pitched tone. And whenever the tone of the voice changes, they are able to recognize the minute variation in the tone of voice. They can understand the concepts better by talking about them. They need to explain the concepts to others to learn it. And the next point is they are distracted by background noise. The seventh point, they memorize things by repeating them aloud, and they read slowly and face difficulty in following written directions. They whisper the pace on the page as they read. They have the habit of reading it aloud. Even if you ask them to do the silent reading, they would prefer whispering the words. Such people, they are auditory learners. Such children, they need to be loud, they need to talk aloud. They cannot learn something by doing it silently, so they prefer either listening or whispering or talking aloud to themselves to learn something in a better way. Then we are going to talk about the third category. They are called as the kinesthetic learners. And who are kinesthetic learners? These people, they learn best when physically engaged in learning activities. As we talk nowadays about the children, we talk about hands-on experience activities. So kinesthetic learners are those type of learners. They find it easier if they do something physical with the information they are receiving. For example, role play simulations, practical experiments, or model making. So how can you identify a kinesthetic learner? They move around a lot. because they love doing practical things, so they find it difficult to sit at one place, and they keep on moving around a lot. They touch people while they are talking, and they tap their foot or pencil continuously because they feel restless when they are not doing, or they are asked to sit at a place, so they keep on tapping their foot or a pencil. And they like to try new things. They move their hand excessively while talking. They are hyperactive. They try to complete their tasks as soon as possible. The next category we have are the learners who are called as read or write learners. This is the fourth category of learners. Earlier we used to have only three categories. Those were visual learners, auditory learners, and kinesthetic learners. But according to the new research, they have added this fourth category as well, which is called as read or write learner. And such learners, they learn by writing one thing continuously, and by reading the same thing again and again. And what are the characteristics of read or write learner types? They read a lot, and they follow traditional method of learning, that is reading and writing. They write notes and assignments. They find it difficult to learn something until and unless they don't write the notes. They write and then learn, and they process the information by writing notes. They prefer self-studying, and they prefer working alone. Okay. According to my experience, what I have observed is this thing, that if a teacher contributes all the activities which are related to visual, oral, then hands-on experience or kinesthetic activities, and along with that you give them the written practice as well, that a child is asked to make notes and assignments, either to read or write again and again, all including all the four activities in your lesson planning or in your teaching methodologies, yields better result, and your student shows good response, and good capability as well, natural ability to learn more. And you can see the growth in his learning, the constructive sort of growth in his learning by including all the four activities. The activities are shared in my another video. I'll be sharing the link with this video as well. Kindly do go and watch the activities for these preferred learners or these mentioned learners. So here is an activity for you. Which type of learner are you? Which type of learner do you think you are? Thank you for watching.